Okay, I have to start this off by asking, are they serious with this name? We've had Gemini, we've had Bard, we've had these very celestial, poetic names. And now, Nano Banana. I feel like I'm ordering a smoothie, not discussing the next generation of artificial intelligence.
I know, right? It catches you off guard. But honestly, I think that's the point. If you look past the branding, which is obviously designed to be viral and approachable, the technology underneath is actually a massive departure from what Google has been doing for the last 5 years. It sounds silly, but the implications are incredibly serious.
So it's not just a marketing stunt? Because when I saw the press release, I thought, okay, nano implies small, obviously. But banana? Is it curved? Is it yellow? What are we actually looking at here?
Think of it less about the shape and more about the packaging. A banana is nature's perfect portable energy source, right? It's self-contained, it's efficient, and it's everywhere. That is exactly what Google is trying to do with this model. The Nano Banana architecture is designed specifically to be an ultra-compact, on-device small language model, or SLM, that doesn't need the cloud. It's ripe for mobile, if you will.
Okay, I promised myself I wouldn't make fruit puns, but that was good. So we're talking about an AI that lives entirely on my phone? Because we've heard promises about on-device AI before, but it usually drains my battery in 20 minutes, or gives me answers that are, let's say, hallucinated.
Exactly. That's the breakthrough here. Previous nano iterations were essentially stripped-down versions of the big, brainy models. They were like trying to fit a semi-truck engine into a bicycle. But this banana release uses a completely different neural architecture. They're calling it curved logic pathways. Instead of processing data in a linear, heavy way, it takes shortcuts. It bends the processing to save energy.
Curved logic. Okay, that sounds like sci-fi jargon. What does that actually mean for me when I'm trying to write an email or edit a photo?
It means latency is effectively zero. You know that split-second pause when you ask an AI assistant something and it has to ping a server in a data center 3 states away? That's gone. With Nano Banana, the intelligence is sitting right on your chip. It's instant. And because of that efficiency, that potassium boost, to stick with the metaphor, it uses a fraction of the power. You could technically run this on a smartwatch, not just a flagship phone.
That changes the stakes for privacy, doesn't it? That's always my biggest hang-up. If I'm letting an AI read my messages to suggest replies, I don't want that going to Google's cloud.
You hit the nail on the head. That is the single biggest selling point here. Because the model is small enough, nano enough, to run locally, your data never leaves the device. The banana doesn't need to call home. It creates a walled garden where you get the benefits of a smart assistant without the surveillance anxiety. It's a localized intelligence bubble.
But here's the catch. Usually, when you make things smaller, they get dumber. Can this thing actually reason? Or is it just a glorified autocomplete?
That's the fascinating part. In the benchmarks they released, it's outperforming models 10 times its size on reasoning tasks. It seems Google figured out that you don't need 1 trillion parameters to understand context. You just need highly specialized, dense parameters. It's like the difference between a massive library where you can't find anything and a small, perfectly organized notebook.
It's interesting you say that. It feels like we're seeing a shift in the philosophy of AI. For a while, the race was bigger is better. More parameters, more power, bigger data centers. Now it feels like we're pivoting to smarter is smaller.
We absolutely are. And I think there's a societal shift mirrored in that. We're moving away from the oracle model of AI, where you climb the mountain to ask the great wise machine a question, to the utility model. AI becomes like electricity, or running water, or frankly like a banana in your lunchbox. It's mundane. It's just there. It's not special anymore. It's just functional.
That's a bit humbling, isn't it? Making intelligence a commodity. But let me play devil's advocate. If this thing is so efficient and runs on everything, are we looking at a future where literally every object creates noise? My toaster creates a sonnet about burnt bread? My shoes give me feedback on my stride? At what point is it too much?
That is the danger of cheap intelligence. When the cost of adding AI to a product drops to near zero, manufacturers will add it to everything just because they can. We might face a crisis of cognitive clutter. Just because your fridge can talk to you using the Nano Banana model doesn't mean it should. We might start craving dumb devices just to get some peace and quiet.
I can see that. Premium dumb phone. $1,000, guaranteed no icky. But looking forward, where does this go? If Google has cracked this curved architecture, what happens next year?
I think we start seeing the death of the app.
Whoa, that's a big claim.
Think about it. If you have a Nano Banana agent on your phone that creates interfaces on the fly, understands your intent perfectly, and executes tasks instantly, why do you need to open Uber or DoorDash or Expedia? You just tell the banana what you want, and it does it. The interface becomes conversation. This release is the first real step toward an operating system that is purely intent-based.
So the phone as we know it, a grid of icons, might actually be disappearing.
Slowly, yes. The screen might become secondary to the interaction.
It's wild to think that something with such a goofy name could be the asteroid that kills the App Store dinosaur.
History's funny like that. Sometimes the biggest revolutions come in the weirdest wrappers. Or peels, in this case.
I'm going to ignore that last pun, but it really does leave us with a lot to chew on. We're moving from the cloud to the pocket, from the massive to the nano. It's going to be intimate, it's going to be fast, and apparently, it's going to be yellow.
The future is ripe, my friend.
And on that note, we'll wrap it up. Thanks for diving into the peel with us today. We'll be watching to see if this tech actually holds up once it's in the wild.
Always a pleasure. Keep your devices charged.
See you next time.